but the message of the day is closing a chapter is not enough. Ending a chapter is not enough. And let's get into what I'm talking about. I'm not going to be on here long because my battery is running low and I got some things to do, but I had to come talk to y'all because I said I'm going to be tapping in with my YouTube family more consistently, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. So, greetings, greetings, greetings. Ending the chapter is not enough. So, I just got off of a call with my client not too long ago, and something that she said to me today really shifted my perspective. We were talking about a breakup, and I was like, well, that chapter is closed. And she was like, no, you got to start a whole new book. And it was so deep to me because I never really thought of that in the sense of the metaphor, because that's a metaphor that we all use. Like, oh, that chapter's over, that chapter's closed. But what are we really saying when we say that? Because when you're reading a book, when you end a chapter, are you not within that same book still? So think about that when it comes to relating that to life and love and our love stories. So when it comes to the chapter versus the book, the chapter is the same story, the same patterns, the same character, the same theme, and the same version of you, the same situation that, you know, the same situation, the same person, the same characters in the whole book. It's the same. But when you are in a new book, it's a different storyline. The character is different, possibly. You might have the same character, but the theme is different for sure. The patterns are different. It's, different standards, different outcomes, different intentions. And, some of us think that we've moved on, but we've really just gone to the next chapter in the same story. Are you following me? So, staying in the same book, our love story started from when we were children. Our love story really starts with our parents, with our relationship with our parents. And when we get into the romantic love, that puppy love, the first relationship, all of that. When you're still dating or still living within the same book, different chapter, it might be a different person. A new character has been unlocked, but it's the same experience. The same red flags, different face. New person, no changes. New restaurants, same food. No, I'm just playing. I had to get my finesse 2 times. Look, but same emotional cycle, same patterns, same type of heartbreak, same experiences. You just repeating the same shit because you in the same book with the same theme. You might have a new character is unlocked, but all of a sudden you see the same patterns happening because you are within the same theme. You didn't meet somebody new for sure. Not all the way. You just met the same person in a different body. And it might not even manifest in the same way as far as the problems or the issues or the reasons why you break up, but something is still being triggered the same way. And you'll see it happening, you'll see it manifesting in different ways, but it still feels like the same type of hurt. You following me? So what it looks like when you have decided to end that book from the love story that you're tired of going through and start a new book, that's where it gets a little deeper. Closing the book, it means literally accepting the story for what it is, not romanticizing it, not making excuses for it. It's just, this is what happened. This is what I've learned from it. This is why this happened. This is why it kept repeating, like really understanding the moral of the story. Taking accountability for your role and releasing the identity you had in this story. Are you still that girl? Are you still that woman? Are you still that man? Are you still that person that was going through your love story in that old book, that old outdated book with that old tired ass storyline? Okay, is it time to switch the identity for the new book? Because you can start a new book whenever you feel like you're ready, but why start a new book with the same theme and the same outcome? Because you ain't learned the moral of the story the first time, so you making a sequel. You're emotionally invested in the old storyline, and that's where a lot of us go wrong, because we still are attached to that old identity. We still are somehow turned on or attracted to or drawn to that same character from that last book in some type of way, whether it's subtle or not. That's the same damn character that you've always been dealing with in each chapter, because you're not closing it. So there are some things that you need to do before you start this new book now. Don't just go hopping and making a new book and then the shit is still sounding the same. Like, what did Tina tell Ike? It just all sounds the same. And he got upset. All the songs are starting to sound the same. Some people, directors, producers, writers that create multiple movies or television shows, and their fans be like, I love their work, but it kind of just all seems the same. That's what you're experiencing in your love story, in your dating experiences is, I'm not going to close the chapter. I'm going to start this new book. I'm going to start this new thing. But it's something that you didn't necessarily detach yourself from that's got you starting new books with the same storyline over and over again. So we want to start a new book with a totally different theme, a totally different energy, totally different intentions, totally different storyline. So you need to reflect on what patterns keep showing up. And when you reflect on the patterns that keep showing up, that's going to really take you down a rabbit hole of, why do these patterns show up? What is the root cause? And it's always going to lead you back to childhood. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Save you some time. It's always going to, all roads lead back to childhood when you're reflecting. So what patterns keep showing up? What do these people have in common that I keep attaching myself to? What energy am I meeting these people in? What things have I ignored in myself and in the things that I need to do that is creating these patterns in this loop? And that goes into the next thing that you need to do, is take accountability. What role did you play? Were you the antagonist or the protagonist? Were you the villain in the story? Or were you the hero? Or were you the victim or the survivor? Like, what role are you playing in your storyline before you get to jumping into a new book, or even closing that chapter, going to another chapter? Like, what did you do? What did you contribute? What did you ignore within yourself that is keeping you in the same damn loop? So you also have to rebuild self-trust, because we always talk about wanting to trust our partners, and that's extremely important. There is no relationship without trust, but what relationships are you talking about when you say that? Are you just talking about the relationship with your romantic partner? Because there's at least two relationships that come before that you need to build trust with, and that's your relationship with the Most High, whoever your creator is or whatever your source is, who you pray to, who you believe in, and then the trust with yourself. Do you trust yourself in your own decision making? Do you trust your picker? Do you trust your intuition? Do you trust your inner voice? We talked about this a couple of days ago about your intuition never steers you wrong, but do you trust it? Do you listen to it? Do you follow it? Do you trust that you will have a happily ever after? Do you trust in a positive future for yourself? There's so many things that you have to do to rebuild trust before you can even consider trying to trust somebody else in a relationship. Redefining your standards. That was one of the assignments that I gave my client a couple of weeks ago. Because as you evolve, as you meet new people, as you experience new things in different relationships, your standards change. What you accepted back then, you might not want to deal with now. What people could have got away with back then, they might not be able to do that now. So you constantly have to revisit your standards. And maybe some of your standards have been, I don't want to say that they're too high, but maybe they're unrealistic. And when you really sit down with yourself, and maybe you haven't set any standards, or maybe some of them are too low, or maybe they're too lenient. So just revisiting them, and not based on pain, but based on what aligns with you, what you need in order to have a successful love story. And again, it all starts with self. Do you have standards for yourself that you're not meeting? Because if you do, again, why are we starting a new chapter? Why are we hopping into trying to start a new book when you're not even keeping the promises to yourself, but you're expecting someone else to do it? So start, and those two go hand in hand as far as like the standards with yourself and rebuilding self-trust. Because if you set a standard for yourself and you're not meeting it, are you going to trust yourself? Releasing the old version of you, and that's what we talked about again, like detaching from that identity of the person that was in that old book. You got to release. 1, 2, 3, release them. You have to release those old patterns, that old mindset, those old habits, the version of you that tolerated the bullshit, the version of you that accepted less than what you deserve, the version of you that stayed longer than you should have, the version of you that didn't listen to your intuition, the version of you that accepted someone based on surface level things when you know you needed depth. Release. So your new book requires a new you, and not a new you as far as your essence and your energy and the core of who you are, but a new you as far as new values, new standards, new boundaries, new level of confidence, new level of self-awareness, new level of understanding, new level of heightened intuition and trust, self-trust, and stand, all of the things. So you don't just get a new love story, you have to become this new version of yourself to align with this. You want the new character to be unlocked, that is your person in this new book, to not even have any type of repetitive nature of the past book that you've been in that hasn't been working for you. And I'm not saying that when you go through breakups or when you no longer align with somebody that makes them a bad person, or that they don't possess some of the qualities that you like. So when you're creating this new avatar, this new person that you want to align with, from old chapters and old books from your love story, it might be, this person was super romantic, I like that. So I can say that is the type of level of romance that I want in a new partner. Or this person was very handy, very good with their hands. They were, very, they had great leadership skills. I love that about them. I experienced that with them. That's some of the things I look for. So you can always, you know, appreciate some of the qualities of the people that you've been with before, and allow that to follow you through versus all the bad things about them. That's why in my guided journal, How to Beat Single, there's a space for you to list the pros and the cons, the things that you learned from this person. Because when we talk about breakups, we always want to focus on what went wrong and who did what and all of the terrible things of the qualities about this person. But there was a reason why you liked the person or loved the person or fell in love with the person. And instead of that, I believe that helps you to, helps you with missing that person. Do you really miss that person, or do you miss the qualities about that person? Or do you want that person back, or do you just appreciate some of the things that they brought into your life? So it's okay to detach from the two. Like, oh, instead of you like, oh, I miss that person, you can rewrite the story as, I really miss, the fun times we had, like dancing in the kitchen and listening to music and cooking together. Like that's something I look forward to doing with my person. You know, just rewrite it and detach from the idea of being with that person if that's who you want to move on from, and just appreciate whatever the quality is that you actually miss. So your new book is going to, require, like I said, different boundaries, different levels of communication, and different decision making. And you have all the tools that you need to create this different version of you if you really pay attention to what went wrong. If you've done all the steps that I talked about before, looking at the patterns and reflecting, doing the work to find out what it is that you saw in this person, what attracted to you to them, where you all went wrong, what you contributed, all of these things that you do in order to create the better boundaries and the better decision making for yourself, and to be able to communicate clearer and to be able to spot the red flags sooner. In the new book that you create, you move slower. You're not rushing. That doesn't mean that you take forever to fall in love again, or that you close yourself off to it, or that you have to take years and years to heal. It just means you observe a little bit better. You vet a little bit better. You allow yourself to be more present in the experience. You don't force the connections, period. We ain't never doing no forcing. Anytime there's forcing involved, it's not for you. Okay? Anytime there's any forcing involved, it's not for you. And as much as we like and love someone, once we start forcing the connection, we really need to figure out, is this what we really want? Because why are we forcing anything? You don't ignore the red flags, because they be waving. As my cousin Jay always does. The red flags be waving, y'all. And because we're attracted to that person, or because we have chemistry, or because we've been lonely and we're excited to have love again, we be like, I see that red flag over there, but I'm gonna focus on these 3 green ones right here, and I'm gonna just appreciate the breeze that I'm getting from that red flag over there waving. I'm not even gonna worry about it. But in this new book, we're not ignoring it. We're gonna be like, those 3 green flags are really nice, but what about this red one over here? It's it's garnering my attention, and we need to figure out if this is gonna be a deal breaker or not. We're not trying to make things work where they don't. If it doesn't align, it's about time to move on. You're definitely not dating for potential anymore. You're dating the reality. What is this person like right now at this moment? What are they showing me? How are they making me feel? How do I react to the type of person that they are right now? The way they communicate, the way they show up. Do their words align with their actions? Am I satisfied with how this is right now? Because yes, it has the potential to evolve and grow and get better and get more aligned. But if nothing changed, would I be happy with who this person is, how they show up, and our connection as it is right now? So when you stay in the same book and just close the chapter, you literally just staying in the same loop. And sometimes we have to jump about them hoes. You in the loop like you in a damn washing machine. You gonna have to bust up out of there, or in a dryer. That's a better visual. You in this loop, getting spun around, spun around, however you say it, and you just gonna have to bust up out that door and jump out the loop, because it's the same lessons and the same endings. Like I said, in this analogy of closing the book and not closing the chapter, you got to learn the moral of the fucking story. Excuse my language. But you have to learn the moral of the story from the last book, or you're going to keep repeating the loops, the same endings, the same cycles, the same patterns. And you need to step out of that cycle completely. And I feel like busting loose, yes. So you don't need another chapter. You need a new story. You need a whole nother book in this love story. So the question is, Are you ready to become the version of you that can live in this new story? So, are you going to continue to stay in the same book, in the same loop, in the same character, no character development, same story, no character development, same storyline, no progress? Get your ass out of that same loop. Don't just close the chapter, end the chapter with clarity, healing, understanding, confidence to close the whole book. Release that book with light and love and understanding and move on to open up a new book with a new version of you, with a new storyline, and hopefully you'll be able to have your happily ever after. If you need support on this journey of healing, on this journey of understanding and gaining clarity and getting out of the loop of repeating the same cycles, book a call with me. I suggest the Dream Clarity Call. It's one of the lower tiered calls, but you will be able to get some effective, wonderful advice, support, and some type of strategy that is going to get you off of the call feeling ready to move forward and ready to start the new chapter. Now, there are other options that are a little bit deeper, and I also have opened up a few slots for people who just need a quick call to do some venting and just need some words poured into them. Go to my link in my bio, book a call. My calendar is open. Let's do this work so that you can stop just closing chapters and starting new ones, having the same results. And let's get you into the story, the book of your love story that ends with a happily ever after. Thank you all for tuning in. I will talk to y'all later.